Is that Blackwings off in the distance actually making ripples in this event? Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more content. So your next Kong's Cards Tournament breakdown here, post Fire King Extravaganza. This top cut is so much like more spread out than we've seen now here. So you have 3 purely, and then you have 2 Fire Kings. All right, that's the top end of your meta. Now the one-ofs in this top 16, you have Infernoble, Unchained, Flaunderies, Tier, Branded, Manadium, Dragon Link, Bestial, Runic. All right, we don't know what that deck does. We have the Synchro Turbo Pile returning back to show us what the deck can do. And we also have a Blackwing player back here kind of showcasing and going, hey, you know, we can actually do some things. And I will tell you, like, I'm actually super happy to see Blackwings kind of coming up here and actually challenging the meta, going, hey, we can do something. Now, your top 8 here, we had 2 purely. All right, that's not an interesting conversion rate at the least. We had our 1 Infernoble Duelist yet again kind of overcoming a lot of the meta and getting the chance to kind of show up out here and do its thing. We also had Branded. I don't know what's up with this Branded movement as of late, but let me tell you, I'm actually kind of enjoying it. We have Manadium sitting at the dinner table. That's something we have not seen a lot of as of late. We have Dragon Link. Our Bestial Runic pile did manage to creep its way on into the top 8, which is actually kind of nice. I find that Bestial Runic is one of those more interesting little ideas that you can kind of see doing its thing. And of course, the Synchro pile of just turboing through and setting up these stupid good boards. Like, this is a type of event that definitely gets you excited for the oddities that exist in the format. Let's pass on over to deck list. Make sure you guys support and always check out Kong's Cards. Use discount code MCO40 and save over there. So winning our event was purely here. And I do see that we are playing Veilers over the standard Nibiru's. You have the Droll and Lockbirds. We're playing Fenrir's as well. And then, of course, Space Rock. And we have some Ghost Bells down here as well. Yeah, it's honestly pretty normal, I feel like, at this point, for the coverage that this build looks like it's trying to pull through. Not bad at all. Next up here, our second place Infernoble list. I gotta love the Angel's Ring. DDR, I think, has become very, very standardized at this point. You see the Fenrir's with the Rise Heart actually being side deck. The fact that this package has been pushed into the side deck is actually kind of hilarious at this point. I see that we are also playing the Sinful Spoils of Subdiversion down here as well. So, you know, if you need a crystallization out, you immediately have access to it because of, you know, your searchable package that can get to it. Next up, we have more purely, holy moly, man. Wait, we're playing a singular cross-out designator in the main deck. That is the cutest thing that I have seen out of this meta. You are really trying to get into some saucy stuff here if you're trying to play something like this. Okay, I see we have some beautiful thrust targets here. And only 2 summon limits. Wow, this duelist wanted to let their opponent play just a little bit. Next up here, we have our Dragon Link pile. Most of your rocket stuff's going to be fine. 44 cards. I do see that we do play the Change of Heart with the 2 Thrust. That feels pretty normal at this point for most of these builds. You know, you get a little bit of leeway with the way that these deck constructions work with this, especially, you know, your tech choices. You know, you just got to figure out the best combo lines to make sure that you can get through and do your thing. Next up here, we have our Synchro pile. Wow. Of course, I love the fact you can search for this. This is so good. We're only playing 1 Revolution Synchro. We're actually playing Junk Servant too. I mean, hey, if you control a junk monster, it's a free special summon from the hand. This is quite interesting. The Diabell Star package has basically made this deck a lot more consistent. And that's actually really good. So kudos to seeing this build actually cool stuff. Next up here we have Manadium. Yep, there's the reframing in the main deck. No droplets, actually. They still chose to just stick with the standard formulae. We have the crossouts to make sure that, you know, you can cancel out anything your opponent's doing, aka the purely leap. Yeah, if you think your deck is going to have a really bad time, then just, play the cross out to cancel out the leap. And as long as you don't draw the leap, life should actually work out pretty much in your favor. Next up here, we have the power of Branded. And Super Poly's back in the main deck. Off of the last video, we did get the chance to see some little differences out here in the meta, and I think that's fine. Of course, there's the shifters as well. I can't believe this deck also gets to play shifter. Like, we've come so far in the meta for the degeneracy that, if this deck is just hopping on along and it's like, I too can do this. Good stuff. All right, and then we have our runic Bysteel good stuff with Bysteel Aluber himself. This is very similar to the build that we saw top out of, what was it, the California Regional, that actually originated this build. I think this build is a lot of fun. Maximizing on triple Quem too. No wonder why the price point of this card has gone insane. As like, it's definitely one of those things that you need for this deck in order to do its thing. So top 8, actually a lot of good interesting decks here. Now, moving on into top 16. There's a Guido Sandman, yep. I play the one Shyama, that's fine. Maximizing a triple scream. There's the Heartbeat in the main deck. We do play the Scatter Shot for time. We're not losing to any, terrible means. I do see that this build is playing some Evenlies, though. That's a little bit more cute. I haven't seen anybody really trying out this idea yet, but, innovation does tend to give room for interesting ideas. Next up here is DDD. Someday I'll get something different. Still playing the DD package. Yup, of course, that's all standard. Feeling a little bit dangerous from Space Rocks. That's cool. We have Phantasme for filtering. And, of course, the Mistaken Arrest. I think Mistaken Arrest is probably the standard go-to that this deck wants to latch on to. The card's just that good. And I see that, of course, we have more decks that can play Shifter. Yay! Next up here, we have our first Fire King list. And once again, we see our favorite tech choice down here of the Neko main king, because they're so sick of losing to tier. That's still comedy gold to me. You do see the Subdiversion Snake Eye down here also getting the chance to see some play. Let it be a lesson that this card actually having a lot of side deck value up until probably the release of the next set. It's just genuinely entertaining to see. All right, we have more Fire Kings. All right, now this is a little bit different here. We're actually playing one Fire King avatar, Garunix, and we're also playing a Realm of Eulogy as well. Okay, we're also only playing one copy of Sanctuary of the Fire Kings. I would be maximizing that at 3 forever, and we're playing a copy of Rekindling. You know what? Screw it, man. If it ends up working out, I like, once again, the little ideas and things that you can see out here to do very, very well. And then we also have some Purely for you today as well. I'm not all that surprised to see Purely kind of doing its thing, but overall, okay, I do see that we have, there is our good friend Purely Leap as a one-of. There's our Lightning Storms, okay, and of course, good old Phantasmes. We're citing some sphere modes down here as well. And we also have some enemy controllers to kind of make sure that, hey, you're able to kind of set up, do your thing, take your opponent's monsters. It's pretty free. I also see we are playing the Spellbounds in here as well. So yeah, this a little bit different. Feels like that's still pretty standard, though. I don't know, man. Like I said, these Purely builds, about 95% of the time, they feel like they've got their game plan pretty much in stone. And next up here, we have Flaunderies. Now, I do not have the side or extra deck for this. It wasn't shared with me, so before you're like, well, Robbie, they're playing Pot of Prosperity. Nope, this is all you get's the main deck here. Played the one Crow. Of course, we have 2 copies of M-Pen and Friends. You do see we are playing the Little Mini Samoric package. I assume that they're citing 2 more copies of Featherstorm because that's what every other Flaunderies duelist in the world tends to do. Alright, nothing too special out here. It's still Flaunderies. Alright, and we have our Blackwing duelist, actually. Only 1 copy of the Wanting Moon. And, of course, triple copies of Simone. This is the Horus build. I'm actually surprised they're not playing Hoppy in this list. You figured that Hobby would be the one that you would want, or, you know, at least Dumbledef for the regeneration, you know, get the free draw power, but you do get the chance to see the synchro level of this build actually taking off and doing well. So that is your wrap-up for your Kong's Cards event. What do you guys think? Please, comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and remember, you can use discount code MCO40 and save on their website. You guys have a good rest of your day, alright? Patrons, thank you!
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.